Welcome to the Beauty of Beastars, a series looking at, well, the beauty of Beastars, the anime. On this, the Overthinking Media channel, where we cover all things anime, gaming, cinematic, and entertaining, with the intent to start a discussion on subjects that may not change the world, but are fun to think about. Now, Beastars is a masterpiece of art that throughout practically my entire life of watching anime manages to create something I have never seen done so perfectly. And by the end of the first episode, or even before then, it already reached a place on my top 10 favourite animes of all time. Seriously, in the 15, 16, 17, maybe even 20 years at this point, in the 20 years I've been watching anime, I've watched a little over 187 different animes. In fact, where's my list? When I wrote this, I'd watched 187 animes. Since then, I have watched 198 animes. And this is old, I need to update this. In my lifetime watching over 200 different animes, Beastars is a series that manages to stand out as something so impressive. I don't have the words to express how amazing it is, but I'm sure it's how I'm going to try in this series. This is a series where we're looking at the composition of shots, the animation, the symbolism, the art. Just, Beastars is so well written and shot, and the anime is so good. For anyone that hasn't seen Beastars, I highly recommend you do so. I'm going to avoid spoilers the best I can, but there are certain things I need to discuss in the series that will cover spoilers. I'll give warning at the start of the episode, but if you haven't seen the series yet, go into it blind. Beyond the furry jokes everyone makes, seriously, it is a masterpiece of anime. It's a masterpiece of cinema. It's a masterpiece of media in general. It perfectly blends 2D and 3D animation. There's always the jokes about, oh, it looks so bad, you can see the 2D and 3D in animes. No, this anime perfectly blends the two seamlessly. Beastars is one of the best animes I have ever seen. But just in case I haven't sold you on it yet, the basic plot is, it's set in a high school in a world where humanoid herbivores and carnivores live together. One night, a carnivore attacks and eats a herbivore. Following this, the school has this weird aura of fear within the herbivores. The main protagonist is Legoshi, a wolf and friend of the deceased. Despite being a wolf, Legoshi is actually very timid and shy, as well as being a member of the drama club. The series follows Legoshi as he lives his high school life after the events of his friend's murder. The actual concept of Beastars is nothing new. The idea of a world where humans never existed and instead bipedal humanoid animals are the dominant species has been explored many times over in the last few decades, as seen in several mediums, from TV shows such as Sing, Arthur, DuckTales, and Zootopia, or Zootropolis depending on where you are in the world, to video games such as Animal Crossing, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Crash Bandicoot. However, Beastars shows a world that shows the reality of what a world inhabited by herbivores and carnivores would realistically be like in a way I have never seen mentioned in any other medium. Sure, Zootopia / Tropolis does the whole animals live together, maybe they're feral, all that. It's a kids movie, they can't really get too dark into it. But Beastars shows you the world. It shows you what it would realistically be like. But that's not the main reason I love the series. The reason I love this series so much is every single scene, camera angle, perspective, shot, use of color, lighting, transition, and every animation trick feels like it serves a purpose. How many series can you say that about? Seriously. However, whenever I look up people talking about this series, they only cover a quick recap of the episode, which is not only a great disservice to the series, but legitimately feels like an insult. Maybe not intentionally, but there is so much in every single shot. that just to blast by it is insulting. Imagine if you hadn't seen Avengers Endgame yet, and you asked me to recap all 21 films before you watched it, and this was my response. Oh yeah, the movie's up to Endgame? Well, okay, basically, the main protagonist was living in a normal world when suddenly the bad guy did something that completely changed everything. Then throughout the movie, the protagonist had to adapt to the new way of life while learning new skills. While adapting to the new life, the protagonist encountered the bad guy. Later on in the movie, the protagonist and the bad guy had this fight and the bad guy was winning. But then, thinking back on what the protagonist had learned throughout the journey, the protagonist learns the way to win and saves the day. The end. There we go, you've watched every single movie before Endgame. How insulting does that feel? Recapping the MCU like that is the same as how people recap Beastars. Sure, technically, I told you what happened there in every single movie. But there is so much more in the movie. Beastars is the anime equivalent of an Edgar Wright movie mixed with the lighting of a John Wick movie. You can watch an Edgar Wright movie 5 times, 10 times, even 20 times, and you would still not see everything he purposely included. And if you don't know who Edgar Wright is, Scott Pilgrim, Coronation Trilogy, Baby Driver. Need I say more? Seriously, I have watched each of these movies no less than 10 times. That's not an exaggeration. Coronation Trilogy, I've probably watched each film at least 15 times. Scott Pilgrim, definitely at least 10 times. Baby Driver, maybe about 8 times. Not quite 10, but still. Baby Driver I've watched a lot of times. It's such a good movie. And even so, when watching the movie, I still see new things I didn't notice the first time because the cinematography is so good. That is what this anime does. But I think the reason they don't mention the cinematography is because there's just way too much to mention in the recap without making an hour long. However, in my case, I'm okay with long videos, as I'm probably going to spend 30 to 50 minutes talking about each and every frame. Also, I'm just going to be covering the base level of cinematography because I have no idea when it comes to actual animation and 1, 2, 3 frames. I can tell you that this series is shown 3D but uses 2D scenes, and for every 24 frames there are actually probably 12 different frames. But that's as deep as my knowledge goes on the actual animation. This series is more going to be along the lines of taking a look at a single frame and talking about how they used lighting, angle, framing and perspective to tell a story, and how just how great it is. As I said, this is going to be a long series, as almost every single shot is telling a story with its lighting, with its cinematography, with its audio, with its angle, with its camera shot, as well as what the characters are doing and what they're wearing and their clothes and like I said, long series. I am also fully aware that I am probably looking way too deep into every single scene, and the reason the scene was the way it was just in fact the animator wanted the scene to be like that and there's no deeper meaning. And I may come across as obnoxious with my statements, but hey, in high school I had to write 2,000 words on the significance of Curly's glove, and if I have to do that and that's what literally the world needs, yeah, I can overanalyze Beastars. But before we even look at the anime, I want you to keep 3 things in mind when looking at this series. 1, just how much the world feels lived in. I go much more into this later, but I want to place that fresh thought in your mind so you're thinking about it as we talk more. Because seriously, this world, oh God, the animating team deserves so much credit for the little things they do. Just, I'll talk about it when it gets to it, but yeah, the animation team, you guys deserve so much respect. You made this world feel so lived in. 2, no exposition. Now, I love how this series respects the viewer enough to show us what it wants to tell us, as opposed to dumping in exposition upon exposition upon exposition that would seem super out of place in the real world. To put this into context, the first episode of Beastars has around 23 seconds of exposition dumping that could be argued in the confines of the scenes feels natural. However, overall, there is almost no exposition dumping. Compare this to another Studio Orange series, Black Bullet, where in the first 20-minute long episode, there are 5 minutes and 27 seconds of pure exposition dumping that everyone in the scene already knows what they're talking about, but is reiterated to tell the watcher in a completely unnatural way. Not only that, but most of it could have been extrapolated by the viewer just watching the series. I know, shocking in concept, isn't it? Let the watcher find out by watching the series. What? I mean, seriously. A quarter of the runtime is spent dumping information on the viewer that the show could have just left up to the viewer to figure out throughout the series. It's pretty damn obvious. There's even moments in the episode where they dump the exposition as it's being shown. Beastars, on the other hand, only has 1/60th of the runtime dedicated to exposition dumping, if you can argue that. As I said, Black Bullet has over a quarter of its runtime dedicated to exposition dumping that is very clearly obvious. And as for anything else, it leaves up to the watcher to figure out from the clues they're given in Beastars. Writers, if any of you are watching, come in, come close to the screen, turn up your headphones, listen to this bit, focus. It is okay to leave things in the unknown. You don't have to bombard the watcher by setting up every single storyline, event, and backstory in the very first episode. Respect the watcher enough to allow them to figure it out. You can turn the headphones down now and sit back a little bit. You'll hurt your eyes. And 3, how we'll be analysing the scene. So, with almost every single show in the series, we need to do about 5 things. 1, we need to analyse the actual shot, what the footage is literally showing us. 2, we need to talk about what the scene is about. 3, once we've done that, we can move on to the next step of talking about the symbolism of the shot, whether it be the camera angle, reading between the lines of what they're saying, the use of colour, the use of audio, or just about anything else. 4, after that we can discuss what it tells us about the characters in the shot. And 5, in some cases, what it tells us about the bigger world of Beastars at large. With that all said, let's talk about the cinematography of Beastars, shall we? Which is what this entire series is going to be about. So if you enjoy anime, and if you enjoy cinematography, and if you enjoy just beautifully shot scenes, come with me on this journey and enjoy this series. With that all said, look forward to the first official episode coming soon enough. We'll be looking at the first 5 seconds of the series. Yeah, you heard that right. The entire first episode of the series is going to be focused on the first 5 seconds of the series. That's how much context and content there is in the first 5 seconds of the entire series. Look forward to that because, seriously, the first shot, the first 5 seconds of this anime tells you everything you need to know about the series. It lays out its entire message. It lays out its construct. It lays out the bigger Beastar universe as a whole. And it does all that without a single word said in 5 seconds. You won't want to miss it, so subscribe to be up to date with my latest content. For now, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this, you know what to do. I'm so excited to start the series. I started writing this series when the series was still airing. I said series too many times. But yeah, I'm off script right now. This is the post-credit ramble bit. But yeah, legitimately, I started writing this when Beastars was still airing in subs. Which is apparently 2019. So yeah, I've wanted to talk about this for a while. I just haven't got around to it because I wasn't sure how to do it. I've tried recording a couple of times, but there were so many technical issues and it ended up becoming really bad, and there were so many ways of doing it. So I've rewritten the entire series. Next time we're looking at the first 5 seconds. Originally I wanted to look at every single show in the series because, legitimately, the 20-minute episode, the first episode, has hours and hours of content on it. So yes, if you enjoy anime, seriously, don't sleep on this anime. If you haven't seen it yet, watch it before the first episode comes out because, like I said, I'm going to avoid spoilers as best I can. I will ban certain words from the comment section so they can't post spoilers. I'll do the best I can, but there probably will be spoilers that I can't avoid. I don't have to talk about spoilers until a decent part into the series, but for now, I'm going to try my best not to say anything. Look forward to it. It's going to be great. I'm excited. I'll see you then on episode 1, The Fog and the Beauty of Beastars. Thanks for watching. See you then.